Hi, we're here on PPMA TV with Martin Glen, who's just spoken to us his keynote speech, and he's here from the FA, had a busy week. And we'd first like to talk to you, what are the differences, Martin, between being at the FA and being in FMCG food, as you were for so many years?
Well, there's obvious massive difference that, one's about selling physical products and one's about delivering a service, so there's that difference. But I think there's a lot of things in common. I think good organisations, and I've had the privilege to work in a few, they have the same characteristics. So whether you're selling crisps, fish fingers, or trying to deliver football across the country, I think you need a few things. You need a clear strategy, you need motivated people, you need financial freedom to do the kind of things you want. And so actually, the kind of ways that we're trying to make football better in England, the thought process would be pretty similar to making any business more effective.
Okay, so you've had a look around here today. Are you impressed with some of the innovation you've seen?
Yeah, I always used to like coming to this event actually when I was in packaged goods. The things that kind of move on, I think, are you just see machinery getting smaller. You see the kind of issues that I used to deal with, which was how would you make changes happen on machines. That seems to have had a lot more thought gone into it. So flexibility's there, it's clean, it's using the most modern of technologies. So yeah, it does seem to be moving healthily, I think.
Okay, one of the things you talked about in your speech was diversity. And as you walk around the halls, there isn't always much diversity in engineering. So what lessons do you think engineering could learn from the FA about attracting more women into the industry?
You've got some good initiatives going on with the charity, industrial cadets. So I think you've got the wherewithal to make this industry appeal more inclusive and attractive to more typically, the narrow, perhaps narrowish demographic it's previously appealed to. But you really need to believe that it's going to do you something as opposed to a box you have to tick.
Yes, and also attracting young people in as well.
Yeah, I think young people in particular, my view is, given the demographics of Britain, if you manage to attract younger people in, it will automatically be more diverse from an ethnic point of view.
Yeah.
But young people, particularly now, is that I think social media, digital media is a game changer. I think anyone over 30 understands it intellectually. Anyone under 30 lives with it. And, if you think about, there are a lot of small, medium enterprises here. One of their biggest challenges is how do you drum up business? So the internet, the use of digital ways of mining opportunities, prospects and the like. I think there's a lot of room for young people to modernize the whole selling and marketing process that should be considered.
So in your roles at Walker's, at PepsiCo, Birdseye, United Biscuits, these are all massive companies using lots of packaging machinery. What do you think packaging machinery suppliers could do better to serve those big companies or their customers in general?
Yeah, I think when I look back at the projects I worked on that worked really well and delivered massive economic value, the packaging suppliers were involved very early at a strategic level. So I think often the packaging suppliers are brought in late when the company's sort of made its mind up and they're provided with the specification to do this. I actually think getting discussions at CEO level about what the packaging suppliers could do in a strategic long-term basis, build relationships. So you have it in a lot of businesses where strategic alliances happen between primary manufacturing producers and the end products. Same's going to be true of packaging because it is the biggest dynamic in the food industry.
Okay, so what are the main lessons you think you've learned throughout all of those big company experiences?
There've been a couple, and also by virtue of mistakes that have been made as well. So I guess starting with what you should never do, never invest in a packaging because it's novel. Okay. So novelty on its own never works. If the economics are made worse, if the complexity is made worse. So only do things where there is a significant consumer or manufacturer benefit, either in lower cost, better functionality, and it has to be significant. And so, you know, giving consumers what they value, not what they ask for, is a really important trick, because, like I said, if you give consumers what they ask for, they'll say, I'll have twice as many crisps in a bag for the same price, please,
Yeah.
and you'll go bankrupt. So you need marketing people that can get under the skin of what people are asking for, and then make sure that what you then deliver is something they'll pay more money for happily.
In your talk, you were talking about all the investment that's going on at the FA, throwing out the fax machines, getting computers, all this kind of stuff. So how do you think that's going to impact in Russia in a couple of years?
Well, Russia's coming down is very short term. We've got to qualify yet. I'm pretty sure we will. But I'll give you an example. We have a very good IT department now, and we're going to Russia with state-of-the-art encryption to make sure that, in football now, analysis is really important. So the teams, the team will go to Russia with a massive support staff of analysts analysing performance stats, team operations, medical staff, nutritionists. We've got to keep that quite, safe, secure, and make sure that no other third party could listen into it.
Okay, so I know you're a Wolves fan, so you must be really happy right now.
Yeah, I am. I'm a season ticket holder. I don't get to many games now, but I've got family that do. I am happy, and I think investment in the club is great. But, the challenge to me is going to be, we have a great academy at Wolves, and it would be great to see the pathway through to the first team continue. So last season, there were a lot of academy graduates in the team. There's fewer this season. They brought some very talented players from abroad. But I'd still think the links to the local community in any football club, whether it's Wolverhampton Wanderers or whomever, I think is still really important.
Sure. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. I think everyone's loved having you here at the PPMA show. And that's all from us on PPMA TV. Thank you.
Thank you.